Hello, I'm Camelia and this is KiniNews. Awang Hashim has claimed that he was threatened by a Bersatu MP. According to Awang, the MP was dissatisfied with the former for opposing his support for Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Pendang MP Awang Solahuddin Hashim has claimed that he was threatened by Bersatu's Bukit Gantang MP Syed Abu Hussin, Hafiz, Syed Abdul Fasal, and the latter's family. The past lawmaker revealed this in the Dewan Rakyat today. Awang claimed that he had received a phone call from Syed Abu Hussin 2 nights ago and was threatened by him. However, he did not provide more details as Dewan Rakyat Speaker Johari Abdul asked him to file a motion on the matter as the alleged incident did not happen today.
Okey, saya akan buat usul.
Terima kasih.
Dewan kena berkenaan dengan saya diugut oleh Bukit Gantang dan juga ahli keluarganya dalam masa ketika itu. Tapi saya tak kisahlah, saya akan berdepan. Saya takut nanti kita pun hilang. Dengan perkara-perkara begini kita tak selesai oleh Parlimen. Ahli Parlimen kita perlu diberi protection.
Earlier, Johari had said that it would be unjust for him to make an immediate decision without having prior knowledge of the alleged incident. Meanwhile, Harapan's Kampar MP Chong Jae-min called on Awang to lodge a police report instead of raising the matter in the August House. He said Awang shouldn't create a perception in the Dewan Rakyat and should lodge a police report so that they can investigate it. Malaysia Kini has contacted Syed Abu Hussin for his response. On Tuesday, Syed Abu Hussin had announced his support for Anwar. He was the 5th lawmaker from Bersatu to switch allegiance to the government to date. Asyraf has reassured voters that the party's MPs were unlikely to defect to Perikatan Nasional. He said this in response to claims by PN during their campaign for the Kemaman by-election. Umno MPs who defect could lose their seats or face a claim of 100 million ringgit. This is according to Umno Secretary General Asyraf Wajdi Dusuki. In a speech at a ceramah in Kemaman, Terengganu last night, Asyraf also assured voters that Umno MPs were unlikely to defect to Perikatan Nasional. Elaborating, he said each Umno MP had already signed a contract with the party stipulating that they must relinquish their party membership if they go against the party's decision. This, he said, will trigger Article 49A of the Federal Constitution, causing defectors to lose their seats in the Dewan Rakyat. Asyraf added that Umno MPs will also have to pay 100 million ringgit in compensation to the party. He said the clause was valid as the High Court had ruled in the case of former MP Zuraida Kamarudin, where she was ordered to pay 10 million ringgit to PKR. According to Asyraf, this will apply to BN MPs as well, and with this he was confident no BN MP will defect. He was commenting on PN's main campaign message for the Kemaman by-election that a win for the opposition was another step towards ousting Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's administration. Asyraf said the opposition's campaign to oust Anwar was a fantasy because there are 153 backbenchers. He questioned how PN is going to form the government when they need another 112 MPs to back them. Ilham Center's executive director has criticized the unity government. This was for not living up to reforms they had promised. Ilham Center Executive Director Hishammuddin Baka said the unity government led by Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim is not living up to their promised reforms. According to him, the cause of the government's inability to implement pledged reforms was the inclusion of diverse parties and conflicting ideologies that are not compatible. He said this during the Minggu Negarawan setahun Kerajaan Pakatan Harapan dan Barisan Nasional at Putrajaya yesterday. Hishammuddin said he was once an activist on the streets supporting the reformist struggle. However, the struggle reached maturity and died when Anwar became Prime Minister. He added that the expectations for change shared by the entire nation did not materialize. He said what is happening now is not the government that was portrayed by Anwar. Hishammuddin also commented on the government's lack of a clear path to lead the nation towards positive change. Among others, he raised the lack of separation of powers between the Attorney General and the Public Prosecutor, as well as media freedom. The smoking control bill passed through a voice vote in Parliament today. However, the GEG provisions were not included in the bill. The Dewan Rakyat passed the revised Control of Smoking Products for Public Health Bill via a voice vote today. This comes after an extensive and challenging process since the bill was proposed for the first time in 2022. The bill prohibits the sale of tobacco products, smoking substances, or substitute tobacco products, or providing any services for smoking to a minor. Previously, during the debates, MPs from both sides of the political divide had criticized the bill for dropping the tobacco and vape generational endgame, or GEG provisions. While commenting on this during her winding-up speech, Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa said she understood the views and concerns regarding the drop of the GEG provision. She said it was a collective decision, a joint responsibility of the government, while referring to the view of the Attorney General's Chambers, AGC. According to Dr. Zaliha, there is an issue of inequality or discrimination of legal position in the GEG provision, and the AGC was of the view that the provision could be challenged in court as it violated Article 8 of the Federal Constitution. She said although it is true that MPs are the ones who draft laws, the opinion and advice from the AGC should be taken into account in drafting any law so that it doesn't contradict existing laws, especially the Federal Constitution. She assured that a much stricter enforcement will guarantee the effectiveness of the bill in reducing smoking among the public. On November 15th, former Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin accused several ministers of blocking the legislation aimed at making it illegal for those born after 2007 to buy or consume nicotine products. Khairi, the architect of the original bill, said the cabinet's handling of the matter was absolutely shambolic. The JCOM officer who was implicated in a video scandal has lodged a police report over the issue. The police have confirmed that Community Communications Department Officer Abdul Qadir Jalani lodged a police report today at the Kajang police station. According to Bernama, Wahab, who had been implicated in a video scandal, lodged the report at around 11 a.m. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Hussein Omar Khan was quoted as saying that the case was being investigated by the Bukit Aman Classified Crime Investigation Unit. 2 weeks ago, a 3-minute video clip of a man said to resemble former JCOM Director General Muhammad Agus Yusof and Wahab engaging in an indecent online conversation had gone viral. Agus and Wahab had then held a press conference saying that the video was doctored. Wahab had said that the original video, which he recorded, did not have any audio. Both Agus and Wahab had alleged that the video was doctored and that they were being targeted by a Mr. H, who is also a JCOM officer. Wahab had given his statement to police for about 3 hours at Bukit Aman yesterday. According to his lawyer, the primary purpose of the police interview was to determine the identity of Mr. H. Speaker Johari Abdul has reminded MPs that they are being paid to come to the Dewan Rakyat to speak on behalf of the people. He told them that they are responsible for highlighting the wishes of the people in the area they represent. Dewan Rakyat Speaker Johari Abdul has urged MPs to do away with party politics and improve the quality of debate in the coming session. He said every MP is responsible for highlighting the wishes of the people in the area they represent and should not just be champions for their respective political parties during debates. Johari said this during Bernama TV's Ruang Bicara program yesterday. He reminded MPs that they are paid to come to the Dewan Rakyat to speak on behalf of the people, and the moment they enter, it is the people's time and MPs have to speak for them. He added that if MPs start being jokers, comedians in Parliament, eventually the community will make fun of them and Parliament, and this is what they want to avoid. Johari said MPs also need to prepare themselves by reading about matters that will be brought to the August House, so the debate will be more fruitful and mature, which will lead to a more substantive discussion. For example, he said there may be a bill presented by the minister that is flawed, and with a good argument, the minister will make the necessary changes and amendments based on the views given. For that purpose, Johari said the Parliament is now in the process of preparing a training session on how to ask and how to prepare questions to MPs for the upcoming Dewan Rakyat session, which is scheduled to be held in February next year. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimelia. Thanks for watching.